This is Outnumbered. I'm Sandra Smith here today. Harris Faulkner, Andrea Tantaros, host of Kennedy on Fox Business, Kennedy. And today is hashtag One Lucky Guy, former prosecutor and Fox News legal analyst, Arthur Aidala, and he is outnumbered. Arthur, just smile. That's how you top it.
I am so excited. Can we have fun today? Like last time was here, it was like a somber day. We had to be somber, but today I want to have fun. It's warm out. It's humid. I wore a very light-colored suit.
A summer suit.
I know. You're not in mourning. That's for sure.
I was a little nervous. I have no problem telling you when I put it on. I was like, am I going to get in trouble for wearing this? But I happened to see one of the executives in the hall, and they said I'm okay.
You know what? You can pull it off.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
From Tantaros, that takes the winds out of your sail a little bit.
All right, well, let's rock and roll now.
All right, let's rock and roll, people.
Ready. All right, well, a surging Donald Trump taking a commanding lead in the polls 2 days out from the first Republican presidential primary debate. A new Fox News poll showing Trump with 26% support from GOP voters, the highest any Republican candidate has received so far. Jeb Bush, second, and he's the only other candidate in double digits. Scott Walker, third. Only the top 10 candidates in an average of the 5 most recent national polls will be invited to Thursday night's primetime debate, which you will see right here on Fox. And when it comes to the front runner, check out these numbers for Trump. The percentage of those saying they will definitely vote for the real estate mogul nearly quadrupling since early June, jumping from 8 to 34%. This as the percentage saying they would never vote for the Donald, dropping practically in half from 59 to 33%. Also in the Fox polls, when it comes to the most important qualities GOP primary voters say they want in a candidate, a strong leader topping that list, followed by a nominee who would have true conservative values and can defeat the Democrats. Okay, so Arthur, I mean, what do you make of this? Here, Donald Trump, just when you thought he couldn't surge any more in the polls, I mean, he's doubling in some spots.
And he's bringing with him an energy and an enthusiasm that just isn't seen. I mean, to give the viewers a little inside baseball, here at Fox, usually August, it's kind of like a quiet month. It's almost like dead around here. There is so much energy in the hallways around here, in everywhere you go, because, and let's face it, it's because of Donald Trump. If it was August 6th and everyone who wants to go to the beach and who wants to go to wherever their little holiday vacation is, they want to go and hear what he's got to say. And quite frankly, don't take Christie out of the equation as somebody else who kind of brings some excitement and some entertainment to this. And I think it's going to be special, but I think Trump, if he's smart, takes the opportunity to seem as presidential as he can. Well, to stand up there as a statesman as opposed to an antagonist.
It seems no matter where he goes, he's getting people fired up. I mean, I just had to cut you off because you're so fired up talking about the Donald.
I apologize.
All right, but Frank Luntz did a focus group on New Hampshire GOP voters, and wow, did people get really heated here. Listen.
The people of the United States are agreeing with what he is saying, and they're standing up and they're clapping, and the other Republicans better stop making fun of him, because they made fun of Ronald Reagan, and I think Donald Trump could possibly become the next president of the United States of America.
No. This guy has...
He is not a fraud. What's a fraud?
People have not done his homework. People have not done their homework on Donald Trump. Look at his books. He's been all over the fence on issues over the years. He changes his views like he changes his underwear. He's a Democrat.
What does Donald Trump stand for?
Making America.
Give me the programs
I want a president that's going to want to do what the taxpayers want him to do, and what the Constitution says he's supposed to do, not what Donald wants Donald to do.
I think he'll get the jobs, but I think he'll also get the right people to bring the constitutionality back of this country.
Whoa, whoa. I'm looking at Andrea and Kennedy. I mean, people's faces are turning red.
And then a fight broke out, and it was like a WWE 20-man over the top. They were beating each other with chairs. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then Ronda Rousey came in, and she swung her belt all over the place, and Donald Trump got quite jealous.
I mean, love him or hate him.
This was different.
What?
Last night, I emailed you and Andrea. I noticed I got crickets back because I was doing that tittillating thing of watching C-SPAN, as I like to do.
I wrote you back.
On a Monday night.
I wrote you back.
You did? I didn't get it.
Yeah, right.
But I was watching
I actually didn't write you back.
That didn't have Donald Trump in it. And it didn't look like that room. because it was one person after the next. It was it was a really laid back sort of a thing. And I suddenly realized, like Arthur said, Donald Trump brings a certain something to the room. Whether you agree with him or not, he brings an energy.
But he's going to be challenged,
That
Harris.
room had more than the forum did with 14 candidates, 3 by satellite, albeit.
Can I just say one thing, though? I mean, this is going to, whether or not you agree with the Electoral College, it's going to come down to math. He may inspire passion, but does that translate to votes?
Right.
And there's a big difference between poll numbers in August and voters in November of the following year.
And the debates are this is going to be a whole different ballgame and potentially, Andrea, a game changer. Charles Krauthammer last night on with Brett Baer. He was suggesting that there's obviously candidates that have a lot to lose heading into the debate and those that don't have so much to lose. And he was suggesting those that don't have as much to lose are going to really take the opportunity to go after Trump.
That's right, because if they're not getting traction in the polls and they don't have as much money in their coffers, they need to do something to get attention and get eyes on them. So I would say be prepared for some of them to act a little bit crazy and make some statements that are going to get them some play. On the Donald Trump factor, I mean, look, New Hampshire is a state that he could potentially win. You cannot discount him in New Hampshire. Iowa, I don't know, I'm not so sure. But the reason why he's doing so well, and I mean this as a compliment to you, Arthur, because he has what I like to call the Idala factor. The energy, that Northeast, plain-spoken New York, you're very similar. Same thing with Chris Christie, but Trump is stealing Chris Christie's mojo. And again, I will say this, if Kasich makes it onto that stage, I still think he could be a dark horse.
He went up 1 point in that most recent Fox News poll.
He was there last night.
Depending, when people talk about leadership, they talk about Kasich, and that's where he's taken seriously. I don't know if he's going to be the master debater that is required on that stage Thursday night.
Speaking of which, this Thursday, August 6th, it is the debate day. We team up with Facebook to bring you the first Republican presidential primary debate of the 2016 race, live from Cleveland. It all starts at 5 Eastern, and we want you to be a part of it. Submit your questions by going to facebook.com/Fox News and tell us what you want to hear from the candidates. Now to the Democrats. A new Fox News poll shows Hillary Clinton is still the front runner, but her numbers have taken a hit. They've hit a new low. 51% say they'd vote for her now. That's a 10-point drop since June. Meantime, Senator Bernie Sanders and Vice President Joe Biden, who is said to be considering a run, both made gains. Arthur, I think I'll go to you first on this one. Trump surging, Hillary going down in the polls.
But let's face it, this is a marathon. It's like you don't look at the first 100 yards of a marathon and determine who's going to win. So this is, but it works both ways for both of the front runners, for Trump and for Hillary. Both of them are going to get kicked around a lot because they have the targets on their back. But Hillary doesn't seem to have a very formidable group of people attacking her in the Democratic primary. I hope Joe Biden gets in, not because I'm a huge Joe Biden fan, but our whole system is based on the competition and bringing out ideas and bringing out the best in people, and being challenged is what brings out the best in someone. I still think Hillary will be the front runner. I still think if I had a gamble today, I'm going to say she's going to win, but she's going to get her butt kicked a lot. And I will tell you, common folk, they're done with Benghazi. They're not freaked out about Benghazi. They're really freaked out about the emails and the way she conducted herself as the Secretary of State with top secret information when she was being looked after. If she's the president and no one's really looking over her shoulder, imagine what she would do then.
And Harris, I know you dig through these numbers, and you do so often. And in this fresh polling, it shows that the Democratic Party just isn't garnering the level of support that the GOP is among primary voters. Interested, GOP, 74%, 56% on the Democratic side. Not interested, 44% of Democratic respondents.
This is what we saw in the midterm elections, too. That voter intensity was riding with more conservative voters. So that's not actually news. The Democrats probably ought to be more worried about women who look like Hillary Clinton, because the new Wall Street Journal NBC News survey is showing that she is bleeding women. Okay, 44%, and I say this only categorically because it's broken out like this. They looked at it per race in June. 44% of white women had a favorable view of Clinton, 43% didn't. Now, 34% of them have a favorable view, 53% don't. How do they kind of match up? These are college-educated women, and there's some other categories within. She's bleeding independence as well, coming down double digits. I mean, those are the types of the things that I think that Democrats would be looking at more so than.
And meanwhile, she's trying to soften her.
And those are the women that voted and put President Obama into office.
Exactly.
Not once, but twice. And remember, without women, if she loses them, she loses the White House.
But particularly
and
women.
that's why she has this ad out with her mom and her grandma. But I think it's very narrow-minded because she can't just get suburban women voters. She needs to get younger women voters, the Glamour magazine vote, the women who have never voted before. And I don't see her connecting. Also, she hasn't answered questions about the emails. It's not even just that she has bad answers. She has no answers. So a Biden run, like Team of Rivals, would force Hillary Clinton to actually work harder and answer some questions. It might even be good for her if he jumps in the race.
But that's also why
that's
also, I mean, Democrats want to have a passionate opponent out there, and Hillary Clinton does not inspire passion, not just in women. She doesn't inspire passion in anybody. She's sort of the meh candidate who has numbers on her side. That's why a lot of Democrats are talking about drafting Howard Schultz, the Starbucks
But if your
CEO.
whole message is garnered toward women and you aren't winning the group of women who might think like you in terms of educationally, so on and so forth, that's a big problem.
Well, she just spent $2 million in ads trying to soften her image and appeal to women. All right, Senator Ted Cruz trying to cut through the rest of the crowded GOP field with a new campaign ad featuring a machine gun and bacon. And he's not the only one joining the growing trend of off-the-wall videos. So do they help or hurt White House contenders? Plus, he was shot to death in his car while stopped at a traffic light. The man accused of killing 19-year-old Brendan Tevlin claims it was retaliation for U.S. action in the Middle East. And today, he's in court. What the case means for the fight against homegrown terror. And right after the show, catch more from the couch on the web. Join us for Outnumbered Overtime by logging on to foxnews.com/outnumbered and click on the Overtime tab. Tweet us your questions, comments, or tell us what topic you want to hear more about.